Welcome to our Patch Year in Review, and then we're going to review what's happened here in the past year with Patch, and I have with me Zach Zdanek, our Director of Roane County. So we've had a busy year, and we have 2 pages here that we kind of printed out to go through some of the highlights of what we've been doing. And Zach, let's just talk a little bit about where we start, where we end, how things are going. And I know you oversee all our data collection, data interpretation, and you wrap up the end of our school year, which we run from July 1 to June 30, with all our data. Talk a little bit about how our data looks this year comparatively to the last couple.
Right. Yeah. We've seen an increase in the data, and a lot of that is thanks to the Roane County voters that helped us with the levy. The excess levy allows us to not only hire more instructors, allowed us to have more programs, more activities for the students, more high school students as helpers and assistants. But we served close to 1,000 students last year in Roane County alone, which is, not quite half the total population of all students in that age range, and that's school age range. And as a lot of people know,
to 12.
yep, kindergarten to 12th,
Total.
and a lot of people know as a Patch we do the daycares as well. We do the summer soccer program, which we go all the way down to 3 years old. So that doesn't capture every single student and person that we've served with programs, but that's a good look at our numbers. That's a good year for us when we served close to 1,000 kids in the school systems throughout around the county, and that's programs at every school last year in the county. We had them at Reedy, we had them at Walton, we had them at Gary, we had them at Roane County High School, and then we have special programs here at our youth center. That's our school age kids participating in programs that go to our daycares and things like that, as well at Building Blocks or the Patch Preschool here in Spencer.
Yep. So really good year. That's a little over 40% of the student population. And again, as you said, not including the 3 to 5-year-olds that are not in those numbers, it would be higher with our population that we serve. So great numbers. Those are some of the best after-school numbers in the state. And that's competing with the bigger counties, Barber, Wood County, and so forth. We're still throwing out huge numbers for Roane County, which is a small rural county.
Right.
That has a major impact on the state. When we include our other grants with Jackson and Mason County, we actually serve 1/5 of the state's total population of after-school programs, which is big numbers. We also have 279 kids that came more than 20 days and 200 that came more than 30 days. And that says a lot about our population. We need kids to have somewhere safe to go. We have a lot of parents that commute. Over 50% of our parents say that they have a long commute in a survey. So that's 50% of our parents that work that need somewhere safe for their child to be from the hours of 3:30 to 5:30, which is a big part of what we do, keeping kids safe.
And part of our goal in that, and part of our kind of challenge with that in Roane County, is to adapt that to the different schools. So Walton, for instance, we have a program specifically to target commuting parents because we have a lot of parents that are driving to Charleston or outside of the county anyways that need to drop their kids off early at school. There's quite a bit of students that go in early, but before a lot of people are even going to work in the morning. There's students at Walton Elementary School, and Anna Schaefer, a teacher there at Walton, has done a wonderful program for years and years now with us, and that provides a service to let those kids come and really give them the opportunity to get homework help, to get supervision, and to have a caring adult. And that's always something that we always push, is that caring adult and mentor that we place in front of those kids. And there's probably not much anyone better than Anna around. We have a lot of those in the Patch program, and that's one of the great things about doing this, is getting to see those people like Anna that go out of their way to provide a service or help these kids that need it at the schools in our county.
Yep. And we've had, speaking of those relationships, we developed great relationships with our site coordinators. And I spoke at the county commission meeting last night, and that was one of the things. They're like, you do a great job, and it's not me.
Right.
We have Susie Ellison at the middle school, who's been a long-term site coordinator there. Darlene Norman at Gary. the list is long of all the caring people we have, because we know they don't do it for the money.
Yeah.
We know that they don't do it for any personal gratification. They do it to help out the kids.
And that's one of the things that really sets our program apart when we go to the state level and the national level,
Yeah,
even our
especially
national
national level,
conference. People are blown away by the amount of people that we have working in the after school or just the patch program, helping people in our community, helping the students have these opportunities. Their questions to us are always, how do you get that many people at any one site? And that partially is through the support of the voters in Roane County. It's partially through us writing grants, but the biggest number one thing that drives this is the total community effort of the teachers at the school that participate in it and help teach after school programs, the community members, whether they be artists or have other skills that they have to offer, or just great caring people that want to help, that provide opportunities for children. And that's the number one thing overall, and that's what they realize, the people that do these patch programs for us, no matter what the area of the county, they realize that children, especially, in our area, need things to do after school. They need good role models. They need to see that people care about them in the community and care that they succeed. And we have so many wonderful people that participate in our program at all the county schools and all sections of the county, whether they be teachers or not, who participate by helping. And even all the people, whether they work directly for us in after school or not, the secretaries, the cooks at the school, they go above and beyond to help us make this happen. And I just, for one, am really appreciative of that from the people and the effort that we get, and just the amount that they care about the kids in our community.
And when we have that conversation at the national level, the regional level, we're getting ready to go do a presentation at the regional level specifically on that. One of the things that we always talk about is how we would tell people, the cooks, thank you for what you're doing, and they always respond with, hey, it's for the kids. We have to do this.
Yes.
Our community really understands that in order to make our community better, make it stronger, to make it more viable, and to get our community, I hate to say going in the right direction, but staying on that path of sustainability and good development, it starts with kids. Once you work your way up, our kids now have been exposed to our program for 12 years. So we're just now starting to see the kids come into the high school level and work their way out, come back and work for us as college students.
Absolutely.
We're seeing that full circle, and it's really made a big impact on our community.
And that's one of the things we've also presented at and talked about to the conferences at the national or state level, is that return on investment is big, and especially if you can work on a program that goes from pre-K as we do, and then having the contact with the students in soccer during the summer that are all the way down to 3 years old, whether they're in our daycare programs or not, and that contact with them and opportunity being available for them through the elementary, through the middle, into the high school, opportunities for jobs afterwards, opportunities for college students to try to do that. And then also, it also encourages them to give back. It gives them a vehicle for them to come back. When we see the students like Elaine Ashman, Morgan Cottrell, and there's been tons over
Corey
the years.
Nicholson's come back as a counselor in the school system.
So many of these students that were participants in our program come back to our community, whether it's long-term or not. Even while they're in college, they'll come back and help and offer special programs, or help with the soccer program, or help us and come back and touch base with us.
Morgan Cottrell runs our summer programs. She's still in college and comes right back every year. Megan Sinclair. We have a whole group that benefit our community, and that's a big part. Part of that is our special events. We do 13 different community events here based around our high school, middle school students. We've had a lot of community development. Talk a little bit about our community development. And we know Camp Shepherd was big on our radar. It's county property. It's something that we partnered with the county commission on. You were out there rolling out the driveway papers, tie par paper and the gravel. Talk a little bit about that.
Um,
And you've seen usage of that this summer personally.
through softball tournaments, also through people walking out there. They got the along with the trail, they worked to get a grant through the
Yeah,
Sisters of
Roan
St.
General.
Joseph's
Yep.
to be able to put that workout equipment, outside workout equipment, which is awesome. If you've never been there, go check that out at Camp Shepherd. It's excellent, but that's just something that I think personally for both of us in growing up here and being in this community that we want to see. And I think that regardless of what community you're in, there's always room for improvements of the facilities that you already have or continued development to make more opportunities for not only the young people but everybody. To walking trails and have opportunities for fitness and for exercise and getting kids outside and things like the baseball field at Camp Shepherd, which is still an ongoing project that we'll continue to work with to try to improve these areas, the drainage, whatever it might be, to make them more usable. Things we already have more usable, and to encourage use of them. The community development part of it is huge for us because we live in the community. We want our community to have these opportunities. There's a lot of great things that go in our community, whether it's 4-H, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, a lot of church youth groups and events that do wonderful things, and we want to be a constant part of that. In that we're always looking for areas of the county or parts that can be improved to make it a better opportunity for the kids and get more use out of it, like the field out at Walton when we used it, or the trail, and just Camp Shepherd in general. We did 2 science camps out there as well.
School did a third.
We went out there. The Spencer Middle School had a science camp out there that I was invited to go help with. But we have some great places in Roane County, and we have our ups or downs economically back and forth in the county. But if you look, when I look at things like what was happening in Charlotte and other places of the world, we really have a good community that have a lot of caring people who want good things for our kids. And it's really a wonderful opportunity for myself to be able to work for an organization where I get to contribute to that and see the results of that on a regular basis. And it really makes me happy to see kids from Roane County succeed in particular.
Well, tie it together because we had this conversation about the softball tournaments. When the field no longer has flooding issues for baseball, softball usage, the Walton Middle School team got to come in and use the field. Their first game was rained out, which they put in a ton of effort. They had 10 parents out there just working themselves really hard to get the field prepped. Now, a thunderstorm ruined it all. It had 6 inches of water. Now that that's taken care of, not only did the middle school teams get to use it, but you were played in a league that had softball tournaments out there all the time. And we were talking about the hidden economic boost. You got to see it firsthand. You came back and told me about it, about how those teams come in and play, and there's 10 or 11 teams. They're there all day. They go, as soon as their games is over, everybody would run to the Walton Thriftway or to the store at Gandyville, spend money on food and drinks, then come back, play another game, go right back again. So a hidden economical boost just to have work its way around having that facility available is fantastic especially for that part of the
Absolutely, and we have to have those type of facilities because it's the people in Roane County. These were people that wanted to have these charity games, and they're organizing them themselves. They're taking over the structure and organization of it. They just need a place to do these type of things.
Right,
and
that's important
people will run with it once you have, and that's the idea of community development, is that people will run with it and utilize it if we have these types of places, and especially, as you were saying, ones that work well. It's just kind of heartbreaking sometimes when you see, like they did at Walton, all these people put all this effort into a field to get it ready for a game, and they're just fighting to keep the water off of it to try to just play one game, and the amount of time and effort they can come in. But for us to go in and be able to put drains in there and have that opportunity, that's rewarding for us to be able to see them be able to play, to be able to get the field ready quicker in the case of rain, to be able to not be rained out, to have these events like the softball tournaments that are raising money the wonderful people having these tournaments were happening for charity events. So not only is it being used, it's being used for our county. It's bringing in people from outside, and that's always a win-win. And those are the type of projects that we really like.
Yeah, and it was fun. We had Greg Hall and his crew out there. We worked with Matt Cooper. Andy Kinder managed that deal for us, and we used all in-house.
Yep.
Our in Roane County businesses got a lot of our supplies at Farmer's Friend and Hildress. So a lot of help in the community to make that project happen, and it's paying huge dividends.
Absolutely.
We got some more programs coming up. We're working on some other deals to try to work at some farm to table and some ag programs as well. We had a great opportunity for sports and fitness programs. We always have our summer soccer, which is free to the kids. We had over 240 kids this summer, ages 3 to 15, playing and having a great time. And again, that's important. There isn't any activities for those kids, specifically ages 3 to 4, to play sports at all, which is okay. That's a young age, but soccer is easy to fit into that niche. But also in that time between when baseball ends and before football starts, there's an open window. And we feel it's important to keep kids healthy, give them an opportunity to run and play and have fun and be with their friends. It's a social outlet.
Yep.
It's also an athletic outlet. So if you have a kid that wants to run and play, that's a great opportunity for them. So not only did we have that, but we added travel soccer, travel baseball, and then we have our basketball program at the elementary school. So we're adding a lot of fitness aspects to our program and to keep building on that. And a lot of that, when I spoke to county commission meeting last night, you and I dug up some statistics. Roane County on the adult end is pretty unhealthy. We're struggling to maintain.
And West Virginia.
Yeah, it's not only in
whole,
Roane County;
yep.
it's West Virginia as a whole. But we're trying to change that trend with our kids. If they grow up being orientated towards being fit, learning about health, summer soccer, every practice, and when we start the first 2 weeks, you give a spiel to the kids about being healthy, exercising, eating right. We had Coach Patrick Hogan from West Virginia Wesleyan College come down and talk to those kids for the first go around about being healthy and working their way up to being an athlete. So important stuff going on there.
It's a huge mission for us overall, and I think all the teachers and parents see this every day.
Yep.
That it is a challenge nowadays to get kids involved in whether it be athletics or just being outside.
Yep.
Since there's so many things to do, so much types of media, whether it be the phones, the iPads, the TV, there's just so many video games nowadays.
Yep.
There's so many things to influence them.
Yes.
That we don't have a lot of control over once they go to that.
Yes.
But the fact is, and we know for a fact that if they get outside, that if they get exercise, they're going to be healthier. If they develop a healthy lifestyle early in life, they're more likely to continue that lifestyle on. And that's our target, is how we combat the health issues that we have in this state and in this county, is by trying to get young people to develop these habits early on, to try to find the skills that they like, that they're good at, to try different stuff as well, but to always keep in mind the health and the fitness and the nutrition issues that we have to deal with, so they will have a healthier life. And the quality of life overall is the whole overall goal. Quality of life is what we want to see improve across the board, and improvements in quality of life are a win for our kids no matter what.
Yep. And so far we've had wonderful support from our parents. They'll show up. In soccer we laugh and joke. We'll play in the rain, the mud. Kids will love it. And so far parents have been wonderful. Yep. It can downpour, and 20 minutes later parents will roll in and say, "We're ready to go. Turn our kids loose. Let them have some fun." And it's been great. So we're excited about that, and we look forward to continuing that as well. For our Roane County staffing aspect, and I talked with Denise Higgs, who takes care of all our HR and our finance part of what happens in Patch, which is a big job in itself.
Yes.
We had 41 instructors in our after-school programs just in Roane County. We had 36 high school students. I forgot to ask how many college, but I would say around 15. And then 8 site coordinators at all our different sites. And we have around 15 full-time staff that help operate our daycares. That's not including our part-time staff as well. We also work with the vocational center to get co-op students, and then we have some part-time college students and stuff working our daycares. So a pretty big list of Patch people. And when we talk about the reach that Patch has with the community and with the people involved, it runs up to around 150 to 160 people at any given time are doing something that's involving Patch, working for Patch in some capacity. And in a small rural county, that's a really big number. And that's, as you said, when we talk to people at the national and state and regional level, it's always that question: where in the world do you get that many people to help with your program? And the answer is always the same. We have a wonderful community of people that understand and want to help, and that's the big part of it. You provide a platform, a foundation, good people get involved, and they'll make a difference for you every day.
And that's kind of how we see ourselves a lot, as as being a vehicle to put these programs in place. But it's a place for those wonderful people in our community who want to do these great things and want to help kids and do these extra activities. We're a vehicle to get that, to make that happen, to help organize it all, to help them get some pay for doing that through our organization, and to organize all these activities and make them available to the kids. And hopefully with the end goal of improving their quality of life, improving their parents' quality of life, and giving them these opportunities to try new things, whether it be stuff like the coding class at Spencer Middle School with computers, whether it be art classes, basket weaving,
guitar,
entrepreneurial skills, or just the simple fact of fitness and health and getting kids outside more and getting them to run, exercise, and also have the socialization. It's one of my favorite things during the summer is to see the soccer program and to see the kids from not only different schools all over the place, some kids that haven't been to a school yet that are young, and to see them out there shaking each other's hand after the end of the games, to becoming familiar with each other so they know each other in school. It just increases that community bond and that recognition between the students of each other and their effort, and to see each other as a community member in themselves that they know.
And it's interesting. We take some of our kids and play travel soccer over in Ripley, and there's always some sort of hubbub. There's always a couple parents that are disgruntled or not happy or something. Coaches that aren't behaving in an appropriate sportsmanlike manner, and we haven't had those problems here. Our parents, that's something I always go over there and kind of giggle to myself and say, you know what? In Roane County, we have really good parents that understand the goal and buy into our community spirit and what we're trying to achieve, and it's been wonderful. We always have so many people offer to volunteer help. Our coaches in our soccer program are always volunteers, and they do a wonderful job, and it's amazing the community support that we have wrapped around what we're trying to help achieve with our kids. So it says a lot about our community.
It amazes me the effort that the parents will put in around here, because to be competitive at a high level with a lot of these sports, we have to travel outside of town. They have practice. You have kids, whether it be volleyball, football, whatever it is, softball, baseball. The travel that the parents put in, the amount of time that the parents put in to make sure the kids get to where they need to go, that they have the things that they need to do to participate in these things, is really unbelievable at times. The efforts that parents will go through, and those are the things that anytime I'm having a bad day or I'm thinking, what's this world coming to? All I have to do is look at that, and I see that it's not as bad as all that, that there's people doing great things, there's people that care, there's people that are going out of their way to make that extra effort for their children and for other people's children in this community.
That's a great point. I have a soccer coach that's coaching one of our travel teams, doesn't even have a child on that team. But he understands the importance of what it means to have a good adult in place. Not that there aren't other good adults, but he fits that role, and has played it now. This will be his second season coaching a team that his own child's not on, which is huge. And we have our travel track. We did a little pilot program this past spring. I had 8 parents volunteer, and they took the reins and went, and it turned out to be wonderful. And now that's filtered into our elementary schools and Spencer Middle, where we have a track program based around fitness. So wonderful stuff happening. If you want to keep up to speed on everything that's happening with Patch, go to our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Patch21. And we post all our information on there, plus some of the good stuff happening in the communities. We've had some recent interviews with past Roane County students that are in college. We caught up with Caleb Shiree, who's a University of Charleston cross-country runner. He did a wonderful job, got 34th out of 300 or 400 racers up in the Bronx in a big meet. TJ Metzger, Kirsty Lawrence is playing volleyball at Wesleyan. TJ's in the music program at Wesleyan, so we're constantly running into past students and interviewing just to see how everything's going. We throw all that out there on our social media. So check it out on our Facebook page. Again, facebook.com/patch21. You can keep up with all our news that we have. So this show, thanks to A&M Digital Technologies, they produce all our shows. And we'll be back with some more updates. And this was our Patch year-in review for all our good statistics. And we have 6 pages of stuff, of good stuff that people in our community are doing that involves Patch. We're very proud of all of them, proud of our community. But we narrowed it down to 2. Which still ended up being a longer show than what we wanted, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We got a lot of good news to share. All right, so we'll see you next time. And again, if you have any questions or need any more information, call us at the Patch office 927-8047. Speak with any of us or email us through our Patch page, patch21.org, or our Facebook page.